welcome back to the Monday Morning Show. My name's Ken LaSalle, and I haven't done one of these in a little while, and I plan to make this one a fresh start. So, let's start from the beginning. Hi, I'm Ken. I'm an author and a producer of audiobooks and, well, so many other things as it so happens, because as an author, you have to do a lot, and you have to know a lot, and you have to keep just pressing on, because there are about 1 billion other writers out there and 3 readers. So one of the things that you're told as an author when you first start out, you're told by agents and publishers and other writers and seminars that you're told you need to go to. One of the things that you're told is that you have to have a platform. And spoiler alert, this episode is going to be basically about just saying the hell with the platform. Because I started this back in about 2014 or so. So it's been about 5 years when I have been devoting all of my energy into building my platform. Because I wanted to sell books, which I know that sounds strange as an author to want to sell books, but I really did. And so I made YouTube videos, and I blogged, and I started a podcast. And year after year, what ended up happening is I ended up spending more and more time away from actually writing books. And when I did have time to write books, I took time away from me, from just living my life. And so at the beginning of this year, I went through burnout. I just crashed. And that was in February. It's now September, so we're talking about somewhere in the order of 7 months or so ago. Yeah, my math sucks. Anyway, I went through burnout, and I had to tell myself, dude, back off, slow down, you're killing yourself. And so the first thing that I did was I thought of a whole bunch of new projects I could work on. There was Talking Shit, there was Commercial Bias, and a few others as well that I'm not going to get into, because it was just one thing after another, after another, after another. And so a couple weeks ago, I got food poisoning, really bad. And I spent a lot of time lying down, unable to move, unable to eat, and a lot of time to think. And I realized that I haven't read a book in a long time. And you may not remember this, but about a year or so ago, I was starting a series of videos on YouTube of movie critique videos, just talking about movies. And it was called The Big Box of Flicks, and I took a ton of movies, and I put them in a big old box, and I was going to watch all of them. But I found out that I didn't really like doing movie critiques, because I like watching what I like, and to hell with you if you don't like it. So I stopped doing that, but the movies remained in the box. And I haven't watched a single one of them. And you know why? It's because I'm working all the time. I'm writing books, I'm writing content, I'm generating a platform. And, you know, as I was sick about a week ago, I realized as I was sitting there thinking that what good did the platform ever do me? I mean, I'll be honest with you, my book sales are not great. And fortunately, I know it's not because they're terrible, because they're reviewed well. People who read my books like my books. I just can't get them out for people to see, to know about. So I languish in obscurity, if you will. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm 54 years old, and I have started thinking that I would rather live my life than spend every waking moment trying to create a platform, trying to generate this platform that's supposed to result in book sales. I know my books are good, so if people want to read them, that's terrific, but I really don't want to spend every waking hour working my ass off to get people to know who I am so they'll read my books. Because I'm going to be 54 years old in less than a month. And it's time I stopped living for what I am supposed to do and start living my life and enjoying it. And so I'm going to work real hard to try and enjoy my life more, and this is how. This is my Screw the Platform. Okay, so let me start by telling you about a little show called Commercial Bias, which was supposed to go on my Wiley Adam, Invasion of Wiley Adam YouTube channel. If you haven't heard me talk about it, it's a YouTube channel with just a few videos that I started just so I would have some fun outlet, so I could have a little bit of fun. And I had a little bit of fun, and then I stopped making videos on that channel. So I thought Commercial Bias would be a great addition to that channel. And basically, Commercial Bias is, or would have been, MST3K, but for commercials. Because I really wanted to get into critiquing commercials, because personally I hate them. But to do that would take so much more time than I have, that by the time I got into the planning phase of that project, I realized already this is going to take way more time and way more resources than I have. It's the kind of thing that you do with other people and not alone. And unfortunately, I am a lone wolf. I work alone, and so I have to figure that out on my own. So Commercial Bias ended up getting scrapped, and if you're interested in putting that together, please enjoy it, take it, it's yours, with my compliments, and let me know if you produce it, because I'd love to watch it. So the next project that I started working on was a little show called Talking Shit that has kind of taken over this podcast for about 5 episodes or so. And so I recorded and produced about 5 episodes. There was going to be about 15. But after about 5, I realized I didn't really like it that much. And I'll tell you why. I'm tired of trying to monetize everything. Because another thing that you're told as an author is to monetize everything. Because we don't make a whole lot of money, we author folk. Especially those of us of the independent breed. Not a lot of money in it. So you got to find ways to wring every little ounce of blood out of that turnip. And so Talking Shit was going to be one of them. But after doing about 5 of them, did I mention this is unscripted? After doing about 5 of them, I just realized I didn't want to do it anymore. It's not fun. It's more work than it is fun. And let me give you an example of what I mean. So when I'm producing this podcast right now, this episode, I'm doing it unscripted. I'm just talking to you. It's just me and you talking. Actually, it's me talking. Anyway. But Talking Shit took time to write and research. And I just finished working on Heaven for Now, the 3rd book in my Heaven series. And as I was working on it, I had to shelve all of my podcast ideas because I couldn't write that while working on Heaven Enough. It is a juggling act. You've got to figure out how you're going to fit all the work in. And as I said, the way that usually works out is I have no time for me. So I'm going to scrap Talking Shit. In fact, I'm going to scrap most of my plans for this podcast. And this podcast has gone through a lot of changes over the years. When I started it several years back, I recorded every Monday morning. I wrote and recorded and released every Monday morning. And that was the plan. I'd wake up really early Monday morning, write, record, release, before it was time for me to get to the regular job of writing books. And after about a year, that changed. And So this podcast has morphed into different things over the years, and I'd like to tell you my vision for the Monday Morning Show now. And here it is. This is the vision for the Monday Morning Show now. This is what you're listening to, is it. I want to do a lot more unscripted things. And more importantly, I want to do more podcasts, and also on my YouTube video, under my name, Ken LaSalle, I want to do more videos where I'm just talking. Just having a conversation with you. Just being me. I think what I want to aim for is more authenticity and less fully written out productions. I want to be me more. I want to show more of me and less of my work, I guess. Does that make sense to you? Hopefully it does, and hopefully you'll stick around and give the Monday Morning Show a chance after this episode. So that's the podcast. One other thing that will be remaining, just for those of you who enjoyed DC Home will be returning, because I really enjoyed putting that together. I thought that was really worthwhile, and I felt really proud of that work. So DC Home will be coming back for a second season, but it will take time, because I have some big projects in the works. And the next two coming up will be the next two projects I'll be working on will be the next two work of art books, the next two books in my work of art series, and I'll be writing them back to back. And it'll probably take me from now until late January to write those two. I figure about 2 months per book. And then, after that, Max Dedge will be coming back for something very special. I want to produce a Max Dedge radio serial. Just like DC Home, it will be appearing on this podcast, 15 episodes, 15 weeks. And in that case, I'll be writing and producing and releasing them. So it's, again, a one-man studio, and it's going to take some time, but I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So instead of working on a platform, I'm going to work on my work. I'm going to write my books. I'm going to produce the radio serial. I'm going to produce my content. Instead of chasing after the platform, instead of chasing after readers, I'm just going to do the best work that I can. And I'm going to produce good work. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you give it a chance. Now, moving forward, I want to let you know that I'm going to be taking a lot more time for me. And hopefully this is a change that I can make in my life permanently. Hopefully I can find a way to coax myself into enjoying life more and into working less, which drives me crazy. I mean, I was programmed from a very young age to really focus on work and showing and displaying my value, letting people know I'm worthwhile. And I'm kind of sick of that, which is why I'm kind of sick of the platform. I'm kind of sick of constantly trying to prove that I am worth publishing or worth reading. It's just not worth it, because I've got lots of good reviews that tell me that I've got good books and I'm a good writer. So I need to give myself a little break. I need to cut myself some slack. For 2 years, the plan is for 2 years, and then to move forward in 2 years after I see how this works out. Maybe it won't work out. Maybe my book sales will just tank completely the minute I stop trying to push all my content on YouTube and this podcast. But I have a feeling that's not going to be the case. I have a feeling that I don't think the whole platform idea works. I think in this social media atmosphere, I think that the the platforms that publishers are looking for are pre-made and ready to go and not under construction as mine has been. But I want to thank anyone who has come along and supported my work. Anyone who's listened to a podcast, watched a video, purchased a book, reviewed a book, mentioned a book to their friend. You guys are my rock. You guys are my angels. You make my life a lot better, and I really appreciate it. So that's it for me for today. I am going to edit this together and take out all the ums and ahs, or at least some of them. Take out all the throat clearings and the coughs and make it presentable on the Monday Morning Show. Until next time, be good to yourself, be kind to others, and let's make this world a better place.